Maresca took the touchline at Stamford Bridge for the first time, unofficially as a Chelsea manager, and made huge tweaks in the shape he's been using in the past preseason games, lining up in 4-2-3-1, but in a different shape on the ball. Inter lined up in their usual 5-3-2 or 3-5-2 formation with a strong lineup. So why did Maresca change his shape? Because it could be a completely new shape or tailored to the opposition he's facing in Inter Milan. Let me state a case for the fact it was also very Inter Milan based and can be a solution moving forward as well. Inter use a very compact 5-3-2-2 jump shape, especially when Chelsea are having the ball in their half. So it's hard to easily bypass, and that's what Chelsea had to face for most of the game. So positional football is all about gaining advantages over all parts of the pitch at different times. So Chelsea 3 at the back outnumber their 2 strikers in progressing the ball to the midfield and attack. Chelsea diamond midfield also helped to be able to retain the ball and evade pressure in the midfield against a 3-man Inter midfield. We had more options to keep the ball. The same would have happened in a box midfield. But the fact that we face a 5 at the back means we will be matched man for man in the back line. So there was no need for any extra man deeper with Lavia like we normally have Gusto do. Instead, the new role for him, which he's familiar with, is the one of joining the front 5, which means Enzo will drop deeper to cover for him in the 3-2 rest defense, but slightly higher than Lavia. The shape seemed to help progress play down the wings, since the central access is blocked by their 5-3-2. When Inter tried to press Chelsea down one side, their center-backs would have to be drawn to the ball, which created space on the other side. Chelsea's press was very impressive. Throughout the game, you could see the press structure changed, and it wasn't just a man-to-man press again. It was a mix-up of man-to-man and zonal pressing. The aim, as usual, is to move Inter to one side of the pitch, with Guiu starting by bending his run based on where the goalkeeper passes to blocking off the passing lane to both the goalkeeper and other center-back, so they play down one side. Then Chelsea squeeze, but Gusto didn't press DeMarco closely, which means he only did if he was free when he received. Noni did a good job of anticipating the pass to either the center-back or left-back on his side, meaning we had an extra man free. Chelsea's midfield 3 pressed Inter's midfield 3. What Chelsea did was give themselves a bit more space to Inter's fullbacks until they got the ball, that they trigger to press hard. It forced Inter into mistakes and long balls, which we recovered. Chelsea's best bet for getting in behind Inter's shape was to get them to press and use the channels by dragging their CBs out like this, with seam runs to get crosses in. Another way is to overload their box, and CFC tried to do that a lot with lots of crosses and late runs into the box. Enzo, Mudryk, Gusto, and Noni put dangerous crosses into the box. Sommer was the sole reason why they didn't concede. Chelsea also found more space drawing Inter out to press, and then playing through the half-hearted press, as Inter didn't want to compromise their shape in the end. You can notice how our diamond midfield kept finding space in Inter's 3-man midfield. KDH at times could move to the right side of the pitch, even though he was more on the left to overload Inter down one side. He was given that sort of freedom too. We're still improving, and Inter managed to find space in behind our defense for runs by Thuram, but Chelsea also quickly managed to read the situation and fall back well into their 5-4-1 shape when out of possession. The counter-press was very good and intense. Chelsea players were close to each other because they were compact, and they had multiple players to press. Hardly any passengers bar the goal. Inter when they were trying to get out of trouble. Chelsea also could mop up and go again when Inter cleared the ball. It allowed us to sustain pressure in the first half. But there is still an issue with the timing of the press and dropping deep at times to leave gaping holes in the middle for free Inter players in between the lines. Like Inter's first goal as well. There is no pressure on the ball in these instances. The way the system was designed, Noni, Mudryk, and Sterling were encouraged to take their men on in 1 versus 1, which was sometimes 2 versus 1 because of Inter's compact defense, but it was a way of getting around them when we couldn't go centrally. In the second half, Chelsea and Inter kept the same game plan with different personnel. Chelsea attacked and Inter sat back. Palmer replaced Noni on the right, Nkunku replaced KDH, Vega replaced Cucurella, and Caicedo replaced Lavia. Palmer initially started wide like Noni did, and Gusto was part of the diamond midfield like the first half, but soon after Palmer swapped with Gusto while Chelsea were on the ball and was part of the diamond midfield while Gusto was out wide. Chelsea still pressed well and retrieved the ball well in the second half. Even with players like Jackson and Palmer returning, it was almost as compact as the first half. We managed to create chances too, but failed to score. Ugachukwu made the difference after a perfect cameo when he came on for and played at defensive midfield, while Caicedo interestingly played at RB after a free kick from a 1-versus-1 for Sterling. In the end, Chelsea got a deserved point, which was the least they deserved, and was a dress rehearsal for when teams come to Stamford Bridge to put men behind the ball and defend for long periods. Chelsea created enough to score and didn't. Sounds like a familiar story. Hopefully, we also add a box striker to help us out on that. Chelsea showed many signs of cohesiveness and improvement in previous preseason games, and Maresca showed adaptability to the players at hand while also keeping his system as well. It's a good sign. On to the new season. Likes, reposts, and comments are duly appreciated as always. Thank you. What do you think can improve from Maresca's system ahead of the new season? And what did you like about the performance versus Inter?